I can think of another.
Another what?
Reasonable explanation.
I would love to hear it.
Forgive my cheekiness, Pellinor, but your theory is nonsense. Completely ridiculous, absurdly convoluted, unreasonably complicated balderdash. Our puppies no more traveled here on foot than I did.
And what is your theory? They took a train?
I took the train, Pellinor. Their mode of transit was undoubtedly a bit more private.
I don't understand.
It's perfectly obvious, Constable. A child could see it. I wager Will does. What do you say, Will? What is your answer to our devilish riddle?
My answer, sir?
You're a bright boy. You must be for Walthrop to employ you as his assistant apprentice. What is your theory of the case?
Well, sir, I think they're here, obviously, and they must have gotten here somehow, which means they either got here on their own with no one knowing, or...
Yes, very good. Go on, Will Henry, or what?
Or someone did know.
Precisely. And that someone knew because he arranged their passage from Africa to New England.
What are you suggesting, Kearns?
Kearns? I thought his name was Corey.
Kearns is my middle name, from the maternal side of the family.
It's as absurd as you claim my theory to be. To suggest that someone brought them here, with no one being the wiser for it. Housed somehow and fed. How? And by whom?
Again, my dear Walthrop, questions the answers to which are obvious. Don't you agree, Will Henry? So obvious it's comical. I understand your myopia in the matter, Pellinor. It must be quite painful for you to accept, so you have worried and twisted the facts, chewed and gnawed upon the evidence until up is down, black is white, square is round.
You offend me, John.
John? But your given name is Richard?
A nickname, after John Brown, the agitator. My mother was an American, you see, and quite the abolitionist.
I am a scientist. I go where the facts lead me.
Until your heartstrings tug you back. Come now, Pellinor, do you honestly believe in this claptrap theory of yours? They wander ashore undetected and for the next 24 years manage to feed off the local populace and make little anthropoppies, leaving behind no direct evidence, no survivors, no eyewitnesses until they miraculously arrive at the doorstep of the very person who requested the pleasure of their company? You're like the priest in the temple. You strain out a gnat but swallow a camel.
It's possible. The facts do fit.
How?
Adaptation, natural selection, and some luck, I'll admit that. It's conceivable.
Oh, Pellinor, really? It's conceivable that the moon is made of blue cheese.
I can't conceive of that.
You can't prove it isn't. When did he die? 4, 5 years ago? Look at your circles there. You drew them yourself. Look at them, Pellinor. Look at the dates. See how they cluster there and there? See the gap in time between this circle 12 miles away and this one but half a mile from the cemetery? These here within this 10-mile radius, beginning in late 83 to the present, these represent true attacks, perhaps. The rest is wishful thinking. They were pulled off that ship, transported here, and kept safe and sound until their keeper could no longer provide them with their victuals. It's right before your eyes, if you would but open them.
This John, Richard, Kearns, Corey does have a point, Pellinor.
Or Dick. Some people call me Dick for Richard, or Jack for John.
He would never do such a thing. Not the man I knew.
Then he wasn't the man you knew.
I mean the reference to opening eyes in terms of what is right before ours. How they got here is not why we are here. We must decide, and decide quickly, how to exterminate them.
I thought that had already been decided. Or was there some other reason I was invited?
In the morning, I'm contacting the governor's office to request the mobilization of the state militia, and I'm ordering a complete evacuation of the town. Of the women and children, at least.
Completely unnecessary. How many did you say there were, Pellinor? 30 to 35? An average pod?
Yes.
I would say no more than 5 or 6 of your best marksmen, Morgan. Men who can be trusted to keep their mouths shut. Preferably men with a military background, and best if 2 or 3 are handy with a hammer and saw. I've made a list of the materials to be discreetly acquired. The rest I've brought with me. We can set to it first light and be done by nightfall.
5 or 6 men, you say? Have you seen what these creatures are capable of?
Yes, I have.
John has hunted them extensively in Africa.
Jack. I prefer Jack.
It cannot wait till morning. We must move against them tonight before they can attack again.
They will not attack tonight.
How do you know?
Because they've just fed. In the wild, poppies gorge once a month and spend the rest of the time lolling about like indolent lotus eaters. Satisfied, Constable?
No, I am not satisfied.
It hardly matters. Now, there are some conditions that first must be met before we can proceed.
Conditions for what?
For my services. Surely Pellinor told you.
Pellinor chose not to tell me many things.
Ah, well, you can hardly blame him, can you? He's already pledged to cover my expenses, but there remains the small matter of my fee.
Your fee?
$5,000 in cash, payable upon the successful completion of our contract.
You never said anything about paying this man.
I shall pay him out of my own pocket.
Seems only just.
Please, Jack. Please.
Good. So that's taken care of. The one other requirement is something only you can fulfill, Constable. Under no circumstances am I to be held accountable, within the law or outside of it, for any loss of life or limb in the prosecution of our hunt, including any laws I may break or bend in the execution of the same.
What do you mean, Corey or Kearns or whatever your blasted name is?
It's Corey, although I thought I made that quite clear.
I don't care if it's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Oh, Jacob is my baptismal name.
No matter the arrangements you may have made with Worthorpe, I am still an officer of the law.
No immunity, no extermination, Robert. Or may I call you Bob?
I don't care what you call me. I make no such guarantee.
Very well, then. I think I shall call you Bobby. I dislike palindromes.
We've little choice in the matter, Robert. He is the best man for the job. I wouldn't have brought him here otherwise.
Actually, I am the only man for the job.